Salute to all the diehards. This is Diehard Giants Live, and I'm your man. I am Terrell on IG and Twitter. I know. If you're a New York sports fan right now, you are watching the Knick game or the Yankee game, or you could be a nutcase like me and watch both, just like I did on Monday night when the Giants was playing. I was watching the Giants, the Knicks, and the Yankees all at the same time. So New York sports has definitely stressed me out. I know it's been stressing a lot of other people out. But I had to get this show out, man. I know a lot of teams are playing right now. My guy Eru, if you're watching the Knicks, hopefully you'll be watching Die Hard Knicks with my guy Eru over there. Yeah, salute to Dwayne. Dwayne said both. Salute. And salute to Geraldine, man. Salute to Geraldine, First Lady of Die Hard Sports, man. So let's get it going. I'm gonna be here for a short time. Like I said, we all watching both games. So let's just get it going. Welcome to the Huddle, Week 8. Giants lost again, as you well know if you're a Giants fan. It was a good game though. I'm definitely not as mad about this game as I was the Eagle game the week before. But yeah, obviously we still make mistakes. Made a lot of mistakes, preferably in the fourth quarter. A lot of it was on Daniel Jones, but a lot of it was on Brian Daboll too. DJ did not or should not have gotten all the boos this week from playing quarterback. This week he just couldn't get it done at the end of the day. So let's get through the stats real quick. Daniel Jones, 24 completions, 264 yards, one INT at the end of the game. That's what sealed the game. If you watch that, it was pretty bad throw. That was the thing about Daniel Jones, man. Like we played a pretty good game. The defense was giving up a lot of yards. Unlike, that's not like them, but they had a tough night. But they still didn't. It's not like the Pittsburgh Steelers was just running up and down the field and scored a lot of points. Part of that 26-point effort that they had was a punt return, so our special teams let us down again. We'll get to the defense a little later, but like I said, Daniel Jones really did not play that badly until the fourth quarter. Tyrone Tracy had an awesome day, 20 carries for 145 yards and a touchdown. He broke a long touchdown. I think it was a 40-plus yard. Darius Slayton, 4 catches for 108 yards. He had a drop. Malik Neighbors had a couple drops, man. Salute the Wonder Woman in the chat. Salute, glad you can join us. I know I was telling everybody that I know everybody is probably watching the Knicks and the Yankees. If you are a Yankees fan, they're in the World Series. Last time I checked, I think the Yankees was up 5-zip. I forgot what inning. Last time I checked, I think the inning, it was the 4th or 5th inning. And the Knicks is in a dogfight with the Heat. They was pretty much losing all game, but they kind of pulled away a little bit. Last time I checked, they was up by like 4 or 5 points. But yeah, back to the Giants. Yeah, I think the Daniel Jones obviously is not the answer at quarterback. We all know this. But now I'm in the mode of trying to find out if Brian Daboll is the answer for head coach. I actually like Brian Daboll. I liked him a lot better when he first joined the team. I knew his work out of Buffalo, and he coached in college under Nick Saban at Bama. Coached under Brian Belichick at Bill Belichick, and for the Patriots. He's been a coordinator in this league for a very long time. So I was actually excited when we did hire Brian Daboll, run Rookie of the Year, won Coach of the Year. In his first year, got this team to the playoffs. We was cooking with gas, and then last season happened. Daniel Jones pretty much played like a shell of himself, and the team pretty much fell apart. And ever since then, there's been questions if Brian Daboll is actually the man for the job. Just because he won Coach of the Year a couple years ago, he can still be fired. That just because he won that award that year, that does not mean anything for the years following that. Like Stefanski from the Browns, I think, won Coach of the Year last year, and look at the Browns now. They're one of the worst teams in the league. It happens that way sometimes, especially when it comes to rosters that turn over a lot. And Shane Joe Shane has definitely turned this roster over since he first got here. Like, it's not that many David Gettleman players left, so it's a lot of rookies on this team. Joe Shane rookie class is still remains to be seen because he hasn't been here that long, but they pretty much been lackluster the past couple years. This year seems like it's been doing pretty good. A lot of rookies have contributed to the team, but it's still a question mark whether Joe Shane or Brian Dable will be here next year. It's not all on Daniel Jones. I don't think he's the quarterback of the future at all, but he wasn't the reason we lost that game. I'll tell you the reason in a second, but yeah, Daniel Jones didn't. It's not like he played perfect. Fourth quarter, didn't slide a tight end over to T.J. Watt's side, and T.J. Watt beat Illuminor, who was our right tackle, on a one-on-one situation. Strip sack, killed the drive. Very next drive, defense got us the ball back again. Very next drive, Daniel Jones sails the ball over the head of the running back in the flat. He was wide open. Interception, game over. That's just how it be, man, when you're not a good team. It really wasn't all Daniel Jones' fault, even though he did have those two crucial mistakes at the end of the game. But the penalties, man, that's what it really was. Our defense, like our defensive line is still a beast, man. We get multiple sacks a game. We lead the league in sacks. As you can see, Azeez Ojulari has stepped in for Kayvon Thibodeau with 2 sacks. Brian Burns had a sack. Bobby Okereke was flying all over the place. He had 14 tackles. Dexter Lawrence, I think this is the first time I think Dexter Lawrence's picture wasn't up here, but he was a beast. He was man amongst boys in the middle. He can't be guarded one-on-one, and they have to double team him, and he pretty much wrecks everything in the middle when he's on the field. So Dexter Lawrence is still Dexter Lawrence, I would say this, he might be the best defensive player in the league right now. Like, he's absolutely unstoppable. He's been playing his ass off. But after 8 weeks, this team is 2-6. So I know he's frustrated. The whole team is frustrated, but I know that everybody on the defense is pretty much frustrated. Banks, our starting cornerback, he actually got benched like a little bit in the third quarter. I think it was like in the middle of the third quarter. It was either the middle of the third or the beginning of the fourth, but he got benched. Brian Dable didn't say it was a lackluster effort or anything, but it's something up with Banks that is not clicking. A couple weeks ago, he got called out for his effort on a play against the Eagles. They said they pretty much nipped that in the bud, but the very next week, I didn't see anything. Like, I watched the game a couple times since Monday, and I didn't see anything effort-wise when it came to Deontay Banks. So I don't know why he got pulled, but he wasn't injured. He was fully healthy, and for some reason they pulled him on defense. Brian Dable, obviously, when he got asked, Brian Dable was not going to say why he pulled him or give us any type of information, because he shouldn't. Like, he's the head coach, so all that stuff is going to stay in-house. But I found it very interesting that he pulled our number one cornerback. I mean, he's still young, but he's still our number one corner. And for the most part, he guards the number one opposing wide receiver on the other team. So, yeah, that's a mystery that we will obviously look at for the weeks going forward. But other than that, our defense isn't playing that bad. They're kind of the middle of the pack. And like I said, we lead the league in sacks. So, yeah, really can't say that much about the defense. It's the offense that really pretty much lets us down every game. Like, we still only scored 18 points. Even though Daniel Jones didn't have a bad game, like I said, in the first 3 quarters, it was the last quarter with a couple mistakes that he has that pretty much cost us the game at the end. But ultimately, it wasn't just on Daniel Jones. I want you guys to see the team stats real quick. I'm not putting up any slides for the Steelers. You know, they had a good game. They obviously scored 26 points. But when you look at the total yards, 394 to 426, that's not pretty much even. Passing yards, pretty much even. I'm going to keep strolling down till you see the problem. Total yards, pretty much even. Passing yards, pretty much even. I'm going to scroll slow. I don't want anybody to get a crazy headache from me strolling too fast. Rushing yards, pretty much even. Yards per play, pretty much even. First downs, pretty much even. Third down, fourth down, total plays, sacks, punts. But then we get to the discrepancy. And that's the penalties. 11-5. We more than double up their penalties. That's the reason we lost the game. A touchdown that we had was called back because Malik Neighbors wasn't set on. He was motioning in. He's supposed to be set before the ball snaps. To be honest, it was. I thought the call was. I thought it was a trash call. That happens all the time. If refs, let's just say this: if refs actually call that to a T like that, they almost can call it every time a wide receiver gets in motion, because technically you're supposed to be stopped for like a whole second before the ball is snapped, and that rarely happens. It did not look like Malik Neighbors was going forward at all. His shoulders might have been moving a little bit, but to call that a penalty, yeah, I really disagree with that. Obviously, the coach couldn't really, you really can't say much when the refs don't let you get away with something that you always get away with. Like, you can't say, well, you let me get away with it before, so why you could pull the flag now? I guess technically you can say that, especially if the other team is doing it too. But Pittsburgh was putting people in motion, and they was pretty much doing the same thing, and they did get called, and a touchdown was being called back because of that. So that sucked for us. But yeah, the reason why we lost that game ultimately because of penalties. They were pretty big penalties too. A lot of them motion penalties, illegal procedure penalties, and that goes on the head coach. That's not Daniel Jones' fault. Like, it's not his job to get. I mean, you could technically say it's his job to not give the single snap the ball until he sees Malik Neighbors completely stopped. But at the end of the day, like, quarterbacks trust their wide receivers to do what they're supposed to be doing on that play. So I wouldn't call that Daniel Jones' fault. I thought that was just a BS call. Yes, salute Dwayne. He just said the same thing. Yeah, that was BS, man. Like, that happens all the time. So, but that was the reason why we lost the game, man. That fumble. You see, we lost a fumble, had one interception. That was the last two drives of the game. Like I said, the time of possession was pretty much even, and the Pittsburgh Steelers is 6-2. Like, they are a pretty good team. Like, they lead their division. They're actually a Super Bowl contender so far in the season. The season is still very young. They could still fall off a cliff, but as of right now, they have one of the best records in the league. So we stood toe-to-toe with them. And it seems like it's like the Giants they're not that bad of a team as you think they are because of the record. It's just little boneheaded mistakes here and there that makes us lose a game. And that is more scary than a team that gets blown out all the time, because that means you don't know how to win games at all. So if you don't know how to win games, that's on the head coach. That's not on Daniel Jones. But then again, I ain't trying to give Daniel Jones no type of rah because he didn't completely throw the game away. Like, he still had two key mistakes in the fourth quarter that cost us. So it is what it is. We all know that he should be replaced next season. And it's almost like a broken record. I don't want to keep coming up here every week and just trying to shit on the same player every single week. I got to give some type of positivity to the team, at least a little bit, because it wasn't all bad this time. The Eagles game was a lot worse. That game pissed me off. This game, it was a hard-fought game. I actually thought we was going to come in at the end and actually win this game. I think it was 9-9 at the half. And really that fourth quarter is what did us in. And because of that, you just hate to lose games like that. You don't like to get blown out either, especially to a rival like the Eagles. But yeah, we could have beat Pittsburgh. So because of that, like, I'm mad that we lost, obviously, but not that mad. It just is what it is. Ultimately, all these losses stacking up could get us our quarterback of the future. So I can't really be too mad. But as a football fan, you want to see your team win. Um, that's pretty much all I have for the Giants. We can go into the um, the game for next week. The Giants are 2-6 going into Week 9. Y'all see the numbers, man. There's nothing to write mom about. One of the worst offenses in the league, one of the best defenses, even though the numbers really, we're kind of a middle of the pack defense, but we do have the best defensive line, and we lead the league in sacks. So I you know, can't really be too mad at the defense. It's not like we got, multiple Pro Bowls everywhere on that defense. I think for what we have, I think our defense has played damn good this year, especially with an offense that can't score. And for the most part, every game we usually get beat in time of possession, even though we didn't get beat in time of possession this past game versus Steelers. It was pretty much even. But we play the Commanders again. See, the first game versus the Commanders, Jalen Daniels he's still young. He's a rookie, but he gets better with every game. That was we don't have a kicker game, and we lost that game pretty much because Joe Shane and Brian Dable kind of figured we didn't need a healthy kicker going to the game, and we couldn't kick field goals. We was going for fourth down every time it came up, and we couldn't score, and it was a pretty bad game. Malik Neighbors actually was killing the whole game, and he had a crucial drop on fourth down that could have, kept the game going, but it didn't happen. And that was the game for the first game versus Commanders. But now the Commanders have a top 5 offense and a top 10 defense. You wouldn't have thought that was going to happen. It's not just because of Jalen Daniels. The Commanders have, if you actually look at their roster, the Commanders have the biggest turnover in roster this season in the NFL. Like they have more players that weren't on the team last year than any other team in the NFL. So they are a completely different team than they were last year and the year prior. And Jaden Daniels is a big part of that. So far, he is the rookie of the year. It's not even close. And it is what it is. They're a very good team, but I still think we match up pretty well with them, even though they're playing a lot better. And we have a good chance of winning this game. I'm not going to lie. Usually, I'm honest. Usually I'll be like, we don't have a chance, or it'll be a really, really tough game. We have a chance to beat the Commanders. I know the numbers look crazy because they are very good offense and defense, but just by the way we match up with them and the way that we played them in the first meeting of the season, I really think we can get them. Dwayne agreed with me. He said Commanders going down this time. Yeah, I think the only reason we lost that game was because we didn't have a healthy kicker. And that was with, Daniel Jones not having the best game. Our defense played lights out, though. But hopefully we can do that again. I'll check you guys out next week. Like I said, if you're watching the Knicks, right now, head over to Eru and on Die Hard Knicks. And enjoy y'all night. If you're like me, a Yankees fan, and being stressed out over this series, the Dodgers been whooping our ass for a week now. We are in Game 5, and we're up 5-0, top of the 5th right now. But I'm still stressed out. If we do win this game, we will have to still beat the Dodgers 2 straight in LA. So I don't see it happening. But as a fan, I'm always gonna hold out for hope. So. I'll check y'all out next week. Before I go, check me out Thursday, 9:00, or tomorrow night, 9:00 on Dope Soul Sports Talk. Well, with the host, BK Steph, one of the best in the game. And I'll check y'all out, man. Like, subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends about the show. Salute to everybody that was in the chat: Geraldine, Dwayne, Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman. The Yankees stressing her out too. What? Man, I didn't have the show yesterday. I had a couple things going on at the house, but it was like I needed almost a mental health day, man. Like Monday kicked my ass. Like the Giants, between the Giants, the Knicks, and the Yankees all losing, and the fashion that they did most of the losing. Yeah, man, it was tough. Um, yeah, not gonna lie about that. But we got the show in. Um, Look, the Dodgers coming back now. Bases loaded. I'm about to go. I'm about to go. Bases loaded with the Dodgers now, even though we still up 5-0. The Knicks, real quick. Let me see if I got a score. Right now we're up. I'm streaming, so it's a little late. I'm probably a little behind. We like up 3 on the Heat with like 5 something left in the fourth quarter. So yeah, check y'all out. Yeah, have a good night. See y'all next week. Peace.